Reesie and Dylan are not experts, and none of their claims can technically be proven. Also, would the NSA please not tap our phones? We talk about some pretty weird shit. This is the Foil Hat Broadcast. Hello!
Hi, and welcome back to the Foil Hat Broadcast.
Episode 2.
On the Bermuda Triangle.
I'm Dylan.
And I'm Reesie.
Bermuda Triangle.
The Bermuda Triangle.
The sea that eats people.
The sea that eats people.
I think that will be... Yeah, I want to do that thing. Mm-hmm. I know we're starting off how we usually do by not talking about the thing we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
Right? I want to name these episodes in the way Olin does by not giving away what it's about. Just giving like a vague statement about it.
Okay.
The sea that eats people will definitely be this episode's title.
All right.
The last one I called Roswell, but that's like a pilot, you know? So who cares?
The sea that eats people. So it is a 440,000 miles of sea that eats people.
It eats mostly people,
and
some whole ships.
And manganese, a lot of
manganese.
They ate about 10,000 tons of manganese at one point.
We'll get into that, yeah.
Can anyone tell me what manganese does?
Bermuda Triangle. I didn't, when we first started researching this, I didn't realize it was as close as it was.
Oh yeah, it's very close.
The Bermuda Triangle goes from Miami, Florida, to the island of Bermuda.
To San Juan, Puerto Rico.
And then back to Miami.
Then back to Miami.
So it's quite close.
It's very close, and a lot of sharks off of Miami.
Maybe that's where all the stuff goes.
The sharks
eat. It's just a giant shark pool.
Megalodon ate 10,000 tons of manganese.
Is that your vocal warm-up?
That is my... Megalodon ate 10,000 tons of manganese. Say that like 50 times.
50 times. So we decided that we should start with some of the weird, mysterious stories of the Bermuda Triangle.
Yes, sir. And I'm going to just start us out.
Do it.
With the most ridiculous story I've ever heard.
Okay.
About anything.
Literally anything.
It is utter nonsense.
I really hope at some point in the future there's an episode that just blows that out of the water. Like if we get some deep shit. That'd be great.
Yeah, I hope so, because otherwise this is very sad.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. In the center of the Bermuda Triangle, there is a partially translucent crystal pyramid.
Just crystal?
Crystal.
No specifics on that crystal? Quartz?
I like to think it's like a nice rose quartz.
A rose quartz pyramid.
Just keep it pretty. But, no specifics on what type of crystal it is, but it possesses magical healing properties.
Okay.
Of course.
Right, as all crystals are known to.
And paranormal force.
This is the one that makes the whirlpool.
They
somehow controls the Gulf Stream.
So it's 3 times the size of the Great Pyramid of Giza.
At the bottom of the Bermuda Triangle.
At the bottom of the Bermuda Triangle. And at the top of this pyramid are 2 big holes that circulate water through them, like spinning.
So like it's through the top of the pyramid?
Through the top of the pyramid.
And so it currents through, I guess? Oh.
And that is responsible for...
everything.
Everything.
Well, that's the idea, right?
Well,
like it would
they're
be
responsible for massive surge waves and mist on the sea surface. And some believe that it can be tied to the story of Noah's Ark in some way.
So you don't know?
It didn't specify. Dr. Mayer Verlag is a scientist. She is the one who supposedly discovered it.
By going.
But when an independent team went latituded that Bermuda Triangle.
Right to the center of the triangle.
Right to the center. Nothing there. How surprising. So
where could you hide a pyramid that's, 3 times bigger than the Pyramid of Giza?
Yeah, I don't, you can't. You can't hide it. It would be there. It's not there. Debunked right off the bat.
Well, yeah, we're going to start by crushing the dreams of conspiracy theorists.
Yeah.
That is probably the wildest one.
That's the wildest one. Second wildest?
Second wildest. Atlantis?
Atlantis.
I didn't get a whole... Because I was looking into this one, right? I didn't get a whole lot on it.
No.
Because it doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
And
I've seen it mentioned.
It's
but I haven't
mentioned,
really
but there's nothing that they don't really describe.
They don't really care to describe about.
Yeah, they're just like, it's there.
Atlantis.
End of conversation.
Like, the reason why weird stuff happens is because Atlantis. But that doesn't make sense.
Because why would Atlantis bring weird stuff happen?
Why would Atlantis be on the American East Coast?
What if we're like Atlantis UFOs? Like when we're on a boat, they're like, like mermaid people. They're like, oh god.
They've never seen a boat
before.
We're
being attacked by aliens. Shoot us down.
I guess if you're underwater, you don't need to develop boat technology.
No.
What do you develop if you're
unless it's, like, once again, bringing up SpongeBob, they drive boats. The boats with wheels.
Have we brought SpongeBob up before?
Yeah, the spinal column.
Spinal column.
Mm-hmm. When we're talking about the Queen.
It was so long ago.
It was so long ago.
It was a whole episode ago.
I know.
It was literally the only other episode we've recorded, I think. Unless we were talking about that.
No, we were talking about that in Roswell. Because we talked about
Betty White.
Yes.
I almost said Betty Dyer, who is my grandmother. Sorry, Grammy. You're not listening to this, but apologize anyway.
So, there's also there's also sea monsters. These
are the ones that we don't really have anything on.
I'm going right off of Atlantis because there's nothing on it.
Yeah,
they have like the ruins and there's 3 pyramids, but no, there isn't. There's nothing.
I've Googled.
There's
I've Googled
nothing
this.
more than would be expected at the bottom of the ocean. Like there's stuff down there. There's always going to be stuff down there. Things shift and move, but there's not like 3 specific pyramids in the middle of the Bermuda Triangle.
No.
And why would Atlantis be off the coast of Florida?
That's what I was gonna say, right? Because Atlantis was a fictional. I forget. It was a
Greek, right?
It was a Greek philosopher, and I forget which one because they had so many lovely ones. But it was supposed to be like a fictional utopia. Mm-hmm. It was like
at the bottom of the
because you know how the Greeks love to theorize.
Yeah,
and they use analogies and things. So that's basically what Atlantis was supposed to be. And people thought it was a real place. And why would it be off Miami if the Greeks didn't know Miami existed? Also, isn't it supposed to be like a whole continent? But actually, it's not. It's supposed to be like a city at the bottom of the ocean. But for some reason...
Well, I'll tell you what. I don't know if it exists. Well, I mean, I'm sure it doesn't. But if it does...
See, here you go. I found these pictures. All you have to do is Google Atlantis. And it's just like shitty, really shitty like 3D rendering. Like really bad 3D rendering. Pyramids under the waters of Cuba were discovered, blah, blah, blah. So it's like, it's supposed to be like in the triangles, Atlantis, and it's the same picture. And I think these little structures might be real, but they have no connection.
Which ones? The people?
These little pyramids, yeah.
The little pyramids.
Because like they're supposedly like off Cuba. But that looks fake. That looks fake. I'll look into the Cuban pyramids, and I'll get back to you in the next episode. But Atlantis, probably not in the Bermuda Triangle.
Not there.
Nor is the Kraken, or Megalodon, or whatever.
No, the Megalodon might be.
Because that would be really easy to hide boats. Mm-hmm. Because he just has to run away from the people who are trying to find him. He just eats the whole boat.
Gulp.
And then he swims away.
Yep.
I'm assuming it's a he. It's probably a she. Aren't like a lot of times in nature, like the females are bigger than males or something? That's a thing, right? I took a biology course. So those are the really outlandish ones.
Yeah, those ones are insane.
Those are the ones that we can't really prove because they're dumb.
Yeah.
And they don't make sense.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they proved the pyramid, the crystal pyramid, because it wasn't there.
Yeah.
That was like debunked in 2000. It was
where she said
it
would be. Yeah, where the doctor said it would be.
I'm convinced she was a doctor. She had a doctorate in like cheese making.
We're gonna make that.
Every time I'm making that joke because the thing that people usually like mistake is the fact that you can get a doctorate in essentially anything.
Yeah.
So just because someone has a doctorate in front of their name does not mean that they know more about science than like a professor. I would think a professor would know more about science than someone who has a doctorate in music, which is awesome. But you okay?
I don't want it to get picked up by the audio.
We just like pause for a second and then cut it out.
It's getting hot in here.
So take off all your clothes.
So those are the weird ones.
Those are the weird ones.
Do we have any not like possibly more logical ones? at all? Does the let me back up.
Mm-hmm.
Does the Bermuda Triangle have any theories that make sense?
I mean, in a way.
Okay.
There's the magnetic anomalies that explains why the compasses.
The magnetic anomalies
crazy.
I could understand because there are certain places on Earth that have similar.
So
occurrences.
that is, that probably is like a thing, but it wouldn't be responsible for everything that happens there.
Yeah. That's true. Because it doesn't explain things just go missing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's is it the methane? Is it methane?
The
Eruptions
methane,
from the bottom of the ocean?
the methane, like volcanoes, sort of geysers at the bottom, supposedly at the bottom, large methane vents that cause the water to sort of lose its buoyancy. And I'm not a scientist,
like
so I don't know exactly how that works. But that's the theory. The methane causes the water to lose the buoyancy, so things don't float, so things sink. Bloop. And it just sort of eats people. It's the sea that eats people. But then that
doesn't really explain the planes. Because the water losing its buoyancy might have an effect, but it wouldn't have such an effect to where they would crash and disappear forever.
The magnetic anomalies that would interfere with, like, the instruments on a plane make more sense to me than interfering with the boats for some reason. Because if a plane goes down, it's fucked.
Yep.
Kind of.
I'm sure there's like a flotation something.
But, all these the biggest stories from the Bermuda Triangle are the ones where things just go fucking missing.
Yeah, they do. They just disappear
and then
off
of course
the planet.
Yeah, and then so there's the methane vents.
There's the methane vents. There's also the government testing facility.
Which facility was this?
It is the Atlantic Undersea Test and Evaluation Center, and it's on the Andros Island.
I've been trying to. Right.
Yeah.
I was trying to find more about this when I was first researching this whole Bermuda Triangle stuff, and because I saw the name, and for the life of me I can't find the website where I saw that name again. I researched this. It does have a facility, but it's not in the center of the Bermuda Triangle. At least nothing that's on record. Of course, it does have an actual facility up the coast a bit more towards like New York. But that there's like an actual like it's like a naval base or something that like a sort of research.
But that happens. How are they? Like, here's the thing.
Okay.
I think this is the Flight 19 story. Regardless of whether or not there is a naval base there, the Flight 19 was a fleet of 5 Navy torpedo bombers.
Yes.
And they were training over the Atlantic, and they disappeared halfway through their training exercise, like about 100 miles off of the coast.
Right, in the Triangle.
Yeah, in the Triangle.
Was it actually in the Triangle? Or was one of those stories that's about the Triangle, but not in the Triangle?
It was right off the coast of Florida, so I'm going to say it was
in the Triangle.
In the Triangle.
Okay.
These are part of the government. I feel like they wouldn't just be like, you planes, suck you out of the sky, we're going to kill you.
Well, I mean, the Cyclops was also like a carrier, right?
Well, that's why I don't think the government is actually doing this. Why are
they wouldn't
why
take
are they
it
destroying
out,
their own stuff?
right? So
I'm sure they needed the 10,000 pounds of manganese.
I'm sure they're very upset that they didn't get that.
10,000 tons of manganese.
The Cyclops we'll have to talk about next, but the Flight 19 is a weird one.
That's a really weird one. And the 5 planes, they disappeared. They sent out a search plane to look for them, and that one also disappeared.
Obviously, what do you think? What's the point in grabbing test pilots out of the sky? What's the point?
I don't think there is
5
a point.
of them.
6, including
6 of
the
them.
rescue plane.
If it was just one plane that got lost, it would be no big deal. Like, sometimes shit happens, you lose control, and you can't find... Especially because this was like 1945. I imagine these are fighter planes.
Yeah.
So they're like one-man planes. It's probably easy to misplace one of those in the grand sea of things. But 5 of them at once?
5 of them all at once, and then a 6th looking for those 5.
Which is even more suspicious.
I don't, that doesn't seem like a thing that happens to normal people.
Could it be the aliens?
I think it might be the aliens.
Because that's like the, what are we on, 7th explanation for the Bermuda Triangle? Is aliens. It's always aliens.
It's always aliens.
They never explain. I'm sure there's someone out there, a proper tinfoil hat wearing gentleman, or lady, I don't know, who probably has very specific details on the aliens that did this and what kind of aliens and why. And I really want to know. But do you know how hard it is to scour the deep web for these things? I really need to start getting into this, because I'm sure if I go past the first few pages of a Google search, There's probably some weird shit down there.
I'm afraid to go there.
It's a dark place. I've only been to the page 10 of a Google search once. And it's a dark place. It's a confusing place.
It is.
So that was Flight 19. A mysterious... And that's the only one I think I found that had to do with planes and not boats.
Yeah, it's mostly boats.
Mostly boats. But they keep saying planes go missing.
They do. They do go missing. I think that the boats are just... There's more people.
Sea traffic?
Yeah, more sea traffic. Oh, also, in regards to Flight 19,
we really need to go digital.
a slew of planes, of course, disappeared in the area between the years of 1945 and 1970, including a plane with 32 people on board. And that was never found. 32 people just went missing.
Was it like a commercial plane?
I think it might have been a commercial airline. And it just disappeared.
Just leaves.
Yeah, it takes off and then gone forever.
If I was aliens, right, or a secret government testing facility that acts outside of normal jurisdiction of law, and essentially a flying tin can of people, test subjects, which would sail into my range, I'd be like, thank you. That's offering. You're offering delivery. It to me. Yeah, it's fresh from the supermarket.
Yep.
You just open up that can and there's like a whole bunch of them. I mean, I don't think they eat them.
I think they eat them. I think they're just eating people.
It's the Megalodon.
It's the Megalodon!
The Megalodon jumps out of the sea.
Oh, that's so terrifying.
Yeah.
That's the scariest thing.
That's the worst thing.
There's like there's a name for when sharks do that to seals. Can never remember what it's called. But that's just like a great white shark is pretty big. But can you imagine like a blue whale sized shark jumping out of the water into the sky?
Yeah, it's terrifying because when whales get that big, they eat krill and shit, little plankton. They just suck that shit in
with their hair teeth.
They're baleen,
gross.
Which is gross.
It's so
I hate
gross.
that. I hate that about whales. Sorry, whales, but
I don't want whales to have teeth either.
That would be worse somehow. Well, that's a shark right there.
Ugh.
That's sharks are just whales with teeth.
I have the chills.
And they eat like meat.
Oh God, that's horrible.
Yeah. So the Megalodon is actually our definitive source of Bermuda Triangle mysteries now.
Why is the Earth terrifying?
Why is the sea terrifying?
Why are there monsters? There are literally monsters. I don't know why people are afraid of like Slender Man and whatever, because there are actual monsters lurking in the depths.
We don't need vampires and werewolves and shit.
Monsters exist.
We've already got anglerfish and megalodons.
Wolves are terrifying.
Horses are monsters.
Horses are monsters. And jellyfish are Satan.
But you won't find a horse in the Bermuda Triangle.
If you did, then we have some other issues to deal with.
The seahorse. Not a seahorse, a literal horse that just rises from the depths.
Like in a shell, like Venus.
And just takes out your ship with a giant hoof.
Oh, poof. Company clock.
Yeah, it's Poseidon's horse, made from the foam of the sea.
Oh, God.
I think that's how that goes. I can't remember.
That is our theory. That's what's the Bermuda Triangle.
Athena made the chariot, but Poseidon made the horse to pull the chariot. So he won.
The horse has jagged, 6 rows of teeth.
Don't give them shark teeth.
Shark teeth.
Shark teeth horse? No. That's a terrible idea.
So sharks are monsters.
Horses are monsters. And to combine the two would be the end of humanity.
Shark hearts.
It looked like your brain was melting as you were just like, sharks.
It melted a little bit.
Are you okay? Do you need me to go to the hospital?
I just had a stroke.
Oh my God.
Shark horse.
Oh my God. So, moving back to the fucking Bermuda Triangle. Right.
I'm tearing.
That's amazing. So we've got our one, we've met our quota of one plane story.
Yeah.
Shall we move forward to the next mystery?
Let us.
Okay.
USS Cyclops.
Yes. A naval ship.
It was a naval ship. It was a non-combat. It was a non-combat ship.
Like a carrier or like a transport.
I think it was
cargo sort of thing.
About that. So that is the largest human loss reported by the U.S. Coast Guard on a non-combat ship.
The U.S. Cyclops.
The USS Cyclops.
How many people did we lose?
309.
All of them.
All of them.
Missing.
Gone.
Okay. How about that ship?
Gone too.
How about
You know what was on that ship?
What was
10,000 tons of effing manganese. 10,000 tons of manganese. Gone.
Where do you put all that manganese?
Bye. Why? I don't understand.
Megalodon got no pockets.
He ain't got no pockets. I feel like
I'm going delirious.
if Megalodon were to eat even like a bit of manganese, we would find a dead ass Megalodon.
Because it's not edible.
That's not a thing that you could. Neither is a boat.
By the way,
but
I mean, maybe it's got like very strong acid.
Not for manganese.
You know, maybe the Megalodon can't, but a giant shars could do it.
Shars.
Shars is the worst name for a monster.
Shars.
What is it? Shars.
Shars.
So, U.S. Cyclops, what was it, 10,000?
10,000 tons.
Of manganese.
Tons. You understand how... Oh, I can't comprehend how much stuff that is.
We actually made a joke earlier, what is manganese even for? We looked this up last time. Manganese is a thing that's used in making, like stainless steel.
Is it?
It's in steel manufacturing.
I must have not been listening.
So,
Okay, so... The USS Cyclops was a 542-foot-long Navy cargo ship.
Long ship.
Did I say that?
No, you did.
Okay, yes.
I was just... I do that thing where I emphasize by repeating the same thing you've said.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
It's a very long ship. It was sailing through the Bermuda region, carrying, like I said, lots of people in the manganese. And it left on the weather was a fierce mild.
A fierce mild of weather.
So it was fair, you know, like
there was no reason for it to go missing.
No.
And it just did.
Everything was all well and good, and they sent one message that indicated no sort of trouble. They were just like, "Yeah, we're checking in. We're here. All good."
Oh, so it's just like we're still here.
Uh-huh.
And they left for good.
And then they disappeared. They just gone.
Where did they go?
Fuck if I know.
Because I mean that's the question of the night. Where did they go?
Yeah, I mean even Woodrow Wilson made a little comment on it.
Oh,
he
Woodrow!
Said, only God and the sea know what happened to the great ship. I don't know what he sounds like. This is a guess.
I mean, he was the president. I guess I you say that. I actually do imagine Woodrow Wilson being a bit posh.
Yeah.
Like despite him being an American in 14 or whatever year this was. Seemed very posh.
Like a Rockefeller.
Because he was the only
lighting
one...
cigars with the $100 bills.
Well, he was the only one that had he was like a professor, I think.
Yes. He seems very posh.
Woodrow Wilson. Cool president, I guess.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. A plane goes missing. Little I mean, comparatively. Little plane. Little bit of a plane.
32 people. Oh, we're talking about the
fighter plane.
The fighter plane.
That's another one. That's a bit more. But even then.
Right, but even then, it's a plane crash. It happens.
And this was, and that was like the 40s. Well, I guess you said that could have been like 70 something. But so planes go missing. Little baby planes.
Right.
A passenger plane. Bit more. A whole fucking carrier ship?
That's insane.
Where do they go?
You would have found that, though.
It's a little bit of debris, right? If there was any debris to be found.
So the thing about the Bermuda Triangle is that right underneath it is it's the Gulf Stream.
And it's like that
carries stuff away.
Supposedly carries stuff away. But it would leave like a trail of debris.
It would leave a trail of debris, and that ship is massive. Like the Gulf Stream, I don't care how strong it is, it's not going to be pushing that entire ship so quickly, so far away that no one was able to find it.
It would push the ship, but it wouldn't be fast enough that they couldn't find it with their search vessel. Yeah,
and they actually it was a whole search of the area between Barbados and Chesapeake Bay.
Right.
And no remains of the ship or
crew
or the 309-person crew or the 10,000 tons of manganese was found.
Do you know what?
What?
That's the title of this episode.
10,000 tons of manganese.
Can you tell I take my job very seriously? So, that's insanity. Do you think the U.S. Cyclops was, here comes like the 9th explanation for the Bermuda Triangle, taken into a time warp?
Again?
Again. Step to the...
Okay.
The time warp is a weird one, because I didn't, again, is another one of the ones that I didn't, because the methane vents has a big explanation. That's the one that's sort of like the given.
Right.
It's like the Roswell equivalent of balloon, It's like, that's the one everyone can think of. Oh, it's the
and the methane takes all the buoyancy out of the water
the
and it turns into air.
Time warp one, like the crystal, well, not like the, but like the Atlantis one, not explained.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh yeah, it's just a time warp. What do you mean there's just a time warp? I also saw one, and this isn't like one that I hear often, that just said black hole. If you know because if you know how black holes work, that's not how black holes work.
Nope.
If a black hole was at the center of the Bermuda Triangle, Earth would be not here. Earth would be gone.
Earth would be.
It would be torn apart, and then
hole.
It would be torn apart, and then just spewed out in like a disk of energy. We'd be fucked.
I don't like it.
Black holes are fucking weird.
I can't.
But this show isn't about astronomy.
That's the type of thing where it's like I mentally cannot comprehend.
The thing about the time warp thing, though, and I'm just thinking about this,
right?
It would have to throw him to the future, because if they threw it any time in the past, we would probably have found bits of ships that shouldn't exist in different time periods. Right?
Well, there was the one.
Unless they throw it so far back in time that the Earth is literally a molten ball of slag at the point.
There was a guy flying, and he lost 30 minutes. And he's like, I logged 30 minutes later, I'm in Miami. And I'm like, how did I get here? I don't remember. I'm like, you fell asleep while the plane was on autopilot.
Right.
Like, that, to me, is the most logical explanation.
It makes sense.
Maybe you had a couple of drinks.
You shouldn't drink while flying,
You
folks.
shouldn't drink and do anything.
No.
Just sit there and enjoy your drink.
But yeah, that makes sense. Here's the thing about the whole lost time, because lost time pops up a lot in abduction stories. Lost time, I feel, is only really valid if more than one person witnesses the same amount of lost time. Because if it's just one guy's word, it's easy to go like, oh, well, he fell asleep, whatever. But, like...
Because I've done that.
If multiple people go like, where did 30 minutes go? Exactly 30 minutes?
That's like a Mothman thing.
It's a Mothman thing. So you know of Mothman.
I know of Mothman.
We need to do a Mothman thing at some point. But yeah, so that's the thing. I don't think that's not really a big, that doesn't strike me as true. No. And it's very,
There was also that woman that you were telling me about.
Oh, yes, and I wanted to look up her name and I didn't. And the website that I found is, again, gone. They know. Okay? Episode 2, and they know. Okay, but, yeah, I can't remember the name of the woman. She was supposedly a Bermuda Triangle survivor. She was like an avid flyer. It was her hobby. She was a part of like flight clubs. So she flew a lot, and she had gone. She was like on. I want to say she was in the Air Force at the time, because she was on leave. Saw her daughter up in like the Miami area, and then was supposed to fly back down towards like a naval base.
Right.
And on the way back, going through the Bermuda Triangle region, she supposedly was flying along, and it was getting late, so night is an option, where everything just sort of went black. But she made it sound like it was like an instantaneous thing, like a blanket was pulled over the plane, and then she saw flashing lights, her instruments were going crazy, and I think she might have gotten a bit spooked. Yeah. Because it didn't, other than that, it didn't seem like it was anything serious.
Well, I mean, I've been driving.
She also said, like, long before she went on this journey, like, the Bermuda Triangle thing had been mentioned to her. I think it might have been, like, almost a psychosomatic thing.
I agree, because, I mean, I've been driving before.
Yeah.
And I've kind of zoned out, and next thing I knew,
I've lost time.
Not that I've lost time, and it's dark. Like, in an instant. And I'm like...
It feels like an instant.
But the sun had been setting the entire time. I just wasn't paying attention to it.
So I think in that case, I don't know.
I think that... I think it was nighttime. I think she got freaked out, and, started panicking.
And props to her for making out of that situation.
Oh, yeah, no, that's very good. But, like...
Yeah, I don't know if it was anything supernatural,
When you start, like, hyperventilating and, you start panicking, you can start seeing spots and colors.
If your brain isn't getting enough oxygen, you start seeing flashes of light and things.
And so that makes a lot more sense than anything else, because if she was abducted, like all these other things that I believe have been abducted, she would be gone. There's no coming back, obviously.
Cyclops, Flight 19,
Witchcraft.
We haven't gotten to witchcraft yet.
We haven't gotten to witchcraft
That'll
yet.
be another thing we do. Talk about. We say that like we're biding our time. Like, tune in later for... No.
Oh, here it is.
Here it is.
It was pilot Bruce Gernon.
Wait, what is this about?
The guy who lost 28 minutes after flying through a time-warping cloud tunnel.
A time warping... Okay, so when I think time warp, right? Mm-hmm. I think like...
I jumped to the left.
Well, that is like... That's my Google definition, like definition 1. Mm-hmm. Definition 2, I imagine it as sort of just like a... Because time warps, I imagine, are like wormholes. Mm-hmm. And most people think of wormholes as sort of like a hole, but like a black hole. It's actually a 3D object, but it's a hole. Look, space-time is fucky. Mm-hmm. Here's the thing. I don't think it's a cloud.
No. I don't think
That's
it's
what
like,
I want to get to the
a
bottom.
shifting storm with like lightning striking through the...
It's not a Stargate.
It's not a Stargate.
And it's not
the Doctor Who time tunnel.
I would believe the time vortex from Doctor Who is how it looked like on the inside, but looking at it from the outside, you wouldn't see it like a spiraling hole, I don't think.
No, why? And if you did, why would you fly directly into it?
Swerve.
Unless
it caught you by surprise?
Boom! Cloud tunnel.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know about that one.
I don't either. Yeah.
What else we got?
At least 1,000 known lives have been lost within the last 100 years.
Where's that stat from?
I don't remember.
Cool. We back our facts.
On average, 4 aircrafts and 20 yachts go missing every year.
Yachts?
Yachts!
Now,
boats.
Yachts just mean like
big,
slightly large boats. But they're not huge boats. Like a yacht can still be like a personal vessel.
Yeah.
It's not like a cruise ship, right?
Yeah.
Yachts are smaller than a cruise ship, but bigger than like a personal boat.
Depending on whose yacht it is.
Okay. Well, I don't know anything about boats.
I don't have a boat. I'm poor.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know why that maybe it's this yacht is a very specific time. Like they're going specifically after college students on leave, like for spring break in Miami. Yeah. You know.
Who wouldn't though?
Right.
Go right after them. Take them away.
Take Miami college student yachts, please.
Anyone who went to Florida,
Wasn't that our theory? That the Bermuda Triangle exists to contain Florida?
Oh, yeah. The Bermuda Triangle exists to contain Florida.
Because we're trying to stop the Florida men and Florida women from taking over?
Well, what are some of the Florida man ones?
Oh, do I have to go back on r/Florida man?
Yeah.
Okay.
You gotta go back. Let's
see. Florida man arrested for pot brownie sold at daughter's high school. Florida man calls police after break-in. Cops then discover What does that mean? Let me read this again.
Okay.
Florida man calls police after break-in. Mm-hmm. Good start. Cops then discover grow house.
Oh, weed.
Grow house. That's what they're called?
Yeah.
That's not that bad. Come on, Florida. Give me more.
Maybe.
Florida man accused of filming naked women at South Florida tanning salon. Florida woman arrested for giving THC gummies to daughter who sold them at middle school. Florida man has message for heroin dealers. I don't know what his message is.
What is his message?
Fuck. I actually have to go to the OrlandoWeekly.com for this.
What's his message? I want to know what this guy's message is.
We're sorry for interrupting the Bermuda Triangle story for Florida man. This is the show.
This is the theory that the aliens are trying to
there's a video.
Florida.
There's a video apparently, but I'm not going to play it here. I'm going to read what the website says about it.
All right.
The video is completely insane. While an ominous soundtrack plays in the background, the camera slowly zooms in on Grinnell, Florida man.
Grinnell.
To the dealers that are pushing the poison, I have a message for you, says Grinnell. We're coming for you. As a matter of fact, our undercover agents have already bought heroin from many of you. We are simply awaiting the arrest warrants to be finalized. So apparently, I guess he sent out a video. So far, the reaction has been overwhelmingly bad. Well, this looks exactly like an ISIS video, guys, says a commenter named Shelby Brown. So that's what you guys call community engagement, says another commenter named Eric Mathy. Ski masks, black camo, and bulletproof vests? Yeah, you belong back in 40s Germany, or maybe over in Russia right now. You'd fit right in. But that's Florida man. I don't know how much of that I'm going to keep in the episode, but I think a good bit of Florida man would be fun.
Yeah.
So that was our theory. The Bermuda Triangle exists to stop Florida men and Florida women and Florida otherwise
from being Florida people.
It's nothing against anyone's gender or sexuality. It's against the fact that they're from Florida. We're sorry, Florida. I've never been to Florida, so...
You have to admit, though, y'all get pretty weird.
Here's the thing about Florida Man, and I'm sorry we're spending a lot of time in Florida Man, but...
I'm convinced, though.
Here's my debunking of the Florida Man conspiracy that just weird people come from Florida. Mm-hmm. The weird thing about Florida is not the fact that more weird shit happens there. Mm-hmm. It's the fact that all the weird, like, criminal charges are made public record very quickly. Mm-hmm. Like, they're legally required to be out to the public.
Oh, because it's the best stories.
Yes.
It's the best crimes.
But here's the thing. If we had the same sort of thing here in California, we'd get the same weird shit.
Probably.
Especially in California, because California's fucking huge. Mm-hmm. We'd be like, where's California Man? You know? Where's California Man? And where's where's Hawaii Triangle?
No.
It's a big ass triangle.
I love Hawaii. I don't want to.
Yeah, it goes from Vancouver, Canada, to Hawaii.
Jeez.
To I don't know, wherever the point would be. It'd be a very
Marina Del Rey.
It'd be like a very isosceles triangle. I feel like it would be very narrow. It's more like a strip.
The Bermuda Strip.
So let's get another story in.
Okay. What do we got? What do we got going on?
We did Cyclops. Witchcraft. And this isn't to say that the Bermuda Triangle is responsible. Is witchcraft is responsible for the triangle?
No.
This is a ship called the Witchcraft.
This is a ship called the Witchcraft on December 22nd. A lot of these happen in December. Fascinatingly.
December is the Bermuda month. The planets align.
On December 22nd, 1967, a cabin cruiser. So that's a person. That's a like a cruise ship.
Like a cruise ship?
Yeah.
Okay. Called the Witchcraft?
Called Witchcraft.
I guess it's probably more like a personal vessel or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Left Miami with her captain Dan Barak. A few minutes after setting sail, they sent out a call, and they said that the captain said that the ship had hit something. Megalodon. But there was no, like, substantial damage.
Right.
It was just
fine.
It wasn't sinking. There wasn't any kind of panic. It was just like, hey, we hit something. We're worried that something might happen if we continue to sail. Yeah. So we're just going to stay here, and we need someone to tow us in.
Sure.
So they go to pick them up. And when they get there to where the call was received, nothing's there. Again.
Ship missing.
Ship gone. People gone. Everything gone.
That sounds a lot like, because we've talked about, I've talked about this with you. Mm-hmm. When researching Bermuda Triangle stuff, I kept coming across the Mary Celeste, which I kept trying to figure out how it was looped in with the Bermuda Triangle stuff, despite the fact that it was going from New York to Italy, and then the wreck was found somewhere off of Port. It wasn't even a wreck. The ship was found empty off of Portugal. But that sounds a lot like that. It's a very similar story. It's a very similar story. So just think that with a different name and off of Portugal.
The area was completely deserted.
Okay.
There was no sign of a ship having been stranded or even present there previously.
How do they track that?
I feel like maybe like wave motions, like
it's the ocean.
It affects something, I'm sure.
Okay. You do you.
But like when they search the area, you don't just search like in that one spot on the ocean because things drift. You go miles and miles and miles and miles and miles, like in a circle, looking for stuff. And there was nothing. There was nothing that the ship could have hit. There was no sign of the ship. There was
or the Megalodon.
I'm convinced it's aliens.
Yes.
Or Megalodon, because stuff
the way
matter
behind.
Works is that you cannot create or destroy it.
It cannot just be removed.
It's there, and it can change form.
There'd be debris.
A ship can turn into nothing. Well, stuff,
energy.
But like a ship can be
if
turned...
If you vaporize the ship...
We don't have that technology.
No, we don't. Aliens do, though.
A ship can be turned into scrap, but it can't turn into... Nothing.
Yes.
It's still there.
And people would be there.
And the people would be there, unless all of them... Drowned and floated away.
Yeah.
You'd still find somebody. I feel like if you're searching for stuff, you would find it.
I feel like you'd find some
You would find
trace,
something.
Yeah.
And there's nothing. Nothing of the ship or its passengers have ever been found to this day. So this is a bunch of people who were like gone now. And we're like, well, what the hell happened to them? Where'd they go? We have no idea.
I do want to follow up Witchcraft with the Ellen Austen.
Okay.
Because it's sort of similar. It's a departure.
Ghost ship.
It's a ghost ship.
quick Snapple... Never mind.
No, do it.
Quick Snapple fact. Hashtag
sponsored.
Some scholars...
I'm so glad we have that running joke going.
Yeah, I know. It's great. Some scholars claim that William Shakespeare's play The Tempest was based on a real Bermuda shipwreck.
Ooh. That doesn't change a whole lot, but cool.
Fun fact of the podcast.
So the Ellen Austin, I believe it was a schooner. No, this was not the schooner. That's a type of ship, a schooner. The Ellen Austin was it was a schooner. Ooh. It was a white oak schooner in 1881. Was en route on the way up to New York through the Bermuda Triangle. They discovered a derelict ship.
Ooh.
Completely in good shape. There was very little damage. It was just completely empty and abandoned. A perfectly good boat.
And then didn't they say that there was like sign that people were like in the middle of cooking a meal?
No, that was the Mary Celeste.
Oh, that was the Mary Celeste.
That was Mary Celeste. But this one was just, I don't know, maybe. But they said it was completely abandoned.
Right.
And so the Ellen Austin crew decides, the captain decides, okay, well, we have the ship here just floating here. May as well bring it back to port so we can use it. So he takes some of his prize crew, puts them on the boat so they can all sail back to New York together. On the way back to New York, they get separated by a storm, and the ship completely disappears along with the crew.
Oh, goodness.
Now, that could be just a bad day in ship.
It's just a storm that happens.
The weird part comes in, and this is only about half the time, though. This is less provable. The first part of the story is like that was basically on record. The second one, which makes it creepier, less provable. They found the derelict ship again. But again, it was completely abandoned.
Sans crew.
No more crew. The prize crew that he had put on, gone. But good old boy captain of the Ellen Austin, decides, okay, well, I lost some crew. I can spare a bit more crew. So he puts more of his prize crew on there. Again, need to bring it back to harbor. And then the ship disappeared again. And nor a crew nor a ship was ever seen again. Still put your crew on the boat.
What I'm thinking is that ship is like a, what is it, like a trap. It's a trap.
It's a trap for aliens.
For aliens. So they're like, okay, we're going to put this homing beacon right here. We're going to make it look like a ship. So some silly humans will come along it.
Yeah.
And they'll place their humans on the ship in the trap so that they could take the trap back to port. But they're not taking the ship back. That's not going to happen.
No,
we're going to separate them, and then we're going to take the people from that ship up, and then maybe if we're very convincing with the ship and make it look real nice, they'll put more people on the ship again, and then they'll keep doing that.
It's a really nice ship.
It's a pretty sweet schooner.
This was the worst plan, but it worked twice.
It worked twice. They got a crew. They got two crews of people.
That would be the best theory I could, unless of course the Megalodon or Shores is like
just ate the people and left the boat.
No. It's like an anglerfish, right? You know how the anglerfish
Yeah.
They have the light.
So
this one's just in the shape of a boat.
Okay.
It's
is it
attached.
the light, or could the ship just be some sort of sea creature that as soon as you're on it, the deck like opens and swallows you?
I think that ship might have been the Flying Dutchman. I think that ship might have been the Flying Dutchman.
Do you fear death?
Jack Sparrow. The boat is people. The people are the boat.
The people are in. The people are boat. The boat is people.
The boat is people.
Soylent Green is people.
The boat is the USS Soylent Green. So that one, I think the Ellen Austin might be my favorite story.
Really?
Just because, only if the second part is true. Because it's not so much like, ooh, mystery. I'm just like, why would you put a second group of people on the boat?
The first time you're like, okay, maybe I shouldn't be killing off my crew, like,
I shouldn't
section
be
by section.
literally sacrificing my shipmates to the boat god. You know?
What else is there? Oh, here's another interesting little tidbit.
Okay.
Christopher Columbus wrote,
God.
but he's not known for being like super truthful in like his
He
memoirs.
lied about all the times he fucked over the Indians.
Yeah. So he wrote in one of his memoirs about the insanity Native Americans.
Yes.
BPC.
Well, it's not even being PC, it's being correct.
Being correct. Politically or otherwise.
It's just correct.
Christopher Columbus wrote in one of his memoirs about the insanity he experienced in the Triangle. He said his compass started to go crazy, but that can be attributed to just magnetic anomalies.
Could be fine, yeah.
That they're all over the world.
There's giant magnets floating in the Bermuda Triangle.
He also wrote that he and one of his men witnessed a glowing globe of light that hovered over them in great expanse. And some people even believe that aliens assisted in his quote-unquote discovery of America.
I mean, I dig that theory. That's kind of a fun one.
Yeah, it's a little historical fun guy.
Because there have been, reports in UFO sightings. The glowing ball of light has been a common one. Aside from the traditional saucer. So yeah, that could be a thing. I don't know. I mean,
or isn't it just like a row of lights?
Well, they're like light strips sort of thing. Yeah.
Another Snapple fact.
Here we go.
Hashtag sponsor.
Please don't.
Snapple.
I mean, do.
Author Vincent Gaddis coined the phrase Bermuda Triangle in a 1964 magazine article. I'm not sure for which magazine.
Just a article.
Just a magazine article, and that's stuck. Which, I mean, wow.
What did they call it before?
The Devil's Triangle.
But
or a place where people get eat by the ocean.
The ocean that eats people. God, I'm trying to think. There's got to be one. I feel like we're missing a story.
There's the story of the 3 passenger planes that disappeared despite having just sent all clear messages.
Wait, what the fuck? When did that happen?
I don't know. It's a little note.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. There's a lot of weird stories. And
a buttload of weird stories.
A buttload. And that's quite a load.
Quite a load.
So, with all of the stuff that we've talked about in mind, right? It's got to be aliens, right?
I mean, that's the only thing that could line up with everything.
Right? Because you've said, I don't know if you said it on the show yet, you've said that, like, in terms of the region, the size of the region, the amount of stuff that goes missing there is sort of, like, within, like, average ranges of where it should be.
Especially given the heavy traffic.
Yeah. So, stuff goes missing there all the time.
It's not, it's the number of, okay, here's the thing. It's the number of sunken ships and crashed planes in the area. It's not more than what would be expected in any large, in any place. But it's the disappearance of everything.
It's the part where nothing shows up.
Yeah, it's the part where things are just missing and remain missing throughout time. Throughout all of time.
Correct.
It's another 70 years. It's another 70 years, like in Roswell.
Yeah. I want to know. I just Bermuda Triangle is I feel like it's a bit more difficult to really pin down. Roswell was easy. It's just like, oh well, it's probably nothing.
Yeah,
it's just a tourist trap. This one's like stuff keeps going missing.
Stuff is disappearing.
And we don't know why.
Don't come through here.
Stop. Go around.
Go around.
Except for all the stuff that happens outside of the triangle, but is still attributed to the triangle because it's more like a Bermuda blob. Go around.
Go around.
Make a big wide circle.
Make a really big hit. Just come from the other side. Go
literally around the globe.
Go around the globe. Trust me, it's worth it. It's either a long flight or you die.
Make a connection through Bangkok.
Stop and have an evening in Bangkok. One night in Bangkok makes a hard man humble. That's a song.
I got it, yeah. Thank you for reminding me.
I love that song.
Okay. But
City.
So aliens?
I genuinely think it's aliens.
Okay. Or a megalodon.
Or megalodon.
Or sharks.
Sharks.
I'm gonna draw the sharks now.
I've had a series of mini strokes throughout this recording. But seriously, alien abductions is like the only theory that covers almost all bases.
You know why?
Because you could just stretch it into whatever you want it to be.
Because it's aliens, you can do literally anything you want with it.
Yeah. But nothing else makes sense.
No,
Like some things make sense.
But at that point...
But not all the way.
But at that point, it's like... It's just as easy to say aliens as we don't know.
Yeah.
So...
I'm convinced
it could be aliens.
But it's aliens and versus we don't know. It's essentially the same thing, but stuff is gone. So it's not just we don't know. There has to be like a reason. Why do you think these things are gone?
Right.
Aliens. That's why I think they're gone.
Aliens.
Put a foil hat on this lady. I am convinced.
That's the show.
I am convinced.
Yeah.
It is aliens. There's no other explanation for it. That's what it has to be. What else is it?
I don't know. This is what I live for.
Reverse gravity.
This is why I wanted this show with you. Is because when you get intense about it, and I love it. Because this is the show. This is what I want out of the show. And I hope our listeners like this as well.
Appreciate my intensity.
I would say it was also aliens, but
what else could it be?
I don't know. I like the invention of the sharks.
The sharks.
That's probably my favorite thing to come out of this episode.
That was entirely accidental.
And it was brilliant.
It was, thank you. I'm brilliant.
But I think that about wraps up the Bermuda Triangle. Mm-hmm. The sea that eats people. And ships.
And manganese. 10,000 tons of it.
So I think that'll do it for this episode.
Aliens, it's aliens, just saying. It's definitely 100% aliens.
We hope you've enjoyed listening to the Foil Hat Broadcast. And hey, if you want to comment or give us another mystery, or just tell us that we should stop making a podcast, you can reach us at TheFoilHatBroadcast@gmail.com. That's TheFoilHatBroadcast@gmail.com. All words capitalized.
And if you do think we should stop making a podcast, please pay us about, $180 for the mics that we spent money on, and we will gladly stop making the show.
If you allow us to break even, we'll stop the show. We'll also appreciate. No, I'm not gonna ask money for people.
Give us money. I'm just kidding. Don't listen to our show. We need the likes. Hey. Smash that likety like button and hit subscribe.
If you like kinda like that, hit the like button and subscribe, and hit the little bing ding up in the corner to be notified when we release a new episode. This show is is it bi-weekly or bi-monthly? That means every other week. This show comes out every other week, which means our next show will be April the 28th.
I believe so.
April the 28th after today. So, yeah.
We don't know what we're going to be recording then.
But
so
we will know by the time we record it.
If you have any recommendations, like we said, please email us.
Please do.
Or comment on one of our videos.
We would love to hear from you guys. We really appreciate all of our listeners.
6 of you.
But that does it. Ladies, gentlemen, and the NSA, good night.
Go to bed, kids.